So, good afternoon. I would like to thank the Norton Museum for presenting this lecture, Blues Women, the First Civil Rights Workers. My name is Dr. Joan Cartwright, and I'm the founder of Women in Jazz, South Florida, a nonprofit organization that promotes women musicians globally. So, Blues Women, the first civil rights workers. Black singers in the United States of America emerged from spirituals and blues to develop jazz. Their free-spirited songs delivered messages of liberation, signaling to Africans in America that they could be free. On the continent, the African voice inspired instrumentalists. Vocalese was a dialogue between vocalists and instrumentalists. Each person had an individual sound, and instrumentalists imitated the voices, cries, growls, moans, slurs, whispers, shouts, and wails. But blues singers were the element of the American subculture created by enslaved Africans singing European music. Considered crude by classical listeners, blues liberated singers from the precise pitch and calculated rhythms of European music. This presentation discusses how vocalists held a power outside of the realm of instrumentalists and even orators, in that the musical accompaniment provided a foundation for their rhetoric. From the masked rhetoric of minstrelsy through the unmasked rhetoric of modern blues and jazz, blues women spoke out about racism in America. Blues women provided the means of healing of the human spirit with their musical dalliance that we can be delighted with and grateful for forever. Blues women were the first civil rights workers because their lives and songs symbolized liberty in its rawest form by tapping into the human spirit. The blues women are Mamie Smith, Gertrude Rainey, Ida Cox, Alberta Hunter, Bessie Smith, Ethel Waters, Josephine Baker, Billie Holiday, Eartha Kitt, Nina Simone, and even Miriam Makeba from South Africa. The forced silence of women was a subject of concern long before suffrage. The power of voice is a common theme in African American literature and criticism. Enmeshed in a world of enforced silence, African American authors saw voice as a source of personal and political agency. As in most women's fiction and feminist literature, the ability to communicate for African American writers heralded a search for identity and an affirmation of individual selfhood. Historically, women were constructed as women by silencing their access to public speech with a split in voice. Father tongue speaks the language of public discourse and social power. Mother tongue is interlocutionary, conversational, and expects an answer. Voice work entails the manner in which an individual is politically and socially said or understood. Vocalists held a power outside of the realm of instrumentalists and orators because of the musical accompaniment provided a foundation for their rhetoric. Blues women stood at the top of the pile of entertainers seen as harmless by producers and town councils that hosted minstrel shows. The mask. Relationally, the minstrel mask worked for whites because it symbolized African Americans as happy and fun-loving. Rhetorically, the minstrel mask worked for blacks, allowing the minstrels to patronize an audience of oppressors while they complained about their low social status without fear of being arrested and tortured. But this process did not extricate them from the horror of their masked existence, and it functioned as a misused symbol. Cultural politician Houston Baker contended that the minstrel mask symbolized the ritualistic repression of the African's id satisfaction, sexuality, play, castration, anxiety, and humanity. Its mastery constituted a primary move in African American discursive modernism. The mask was the precursor to African American literature, politics, and open debate, and blues women were adept at sporting it. Blues women were the first civil rights workers because their songs symbolized liberty in its rawest form by tapping into the human spirit. Blues women spoke to and for Black people, providing them an open door to emotional escape. These are the songs that the blues women sang. Mamie Smith, Crazy Blues. Gertrude Rainey, Black Bottom. Bessie Smith, Poor Man's Blues. Alberta Hunter, Downhearted Blues. Ida Cox, Wild Women Don't Have the Blues. Ethel Waters, Stormy Weather. Josephine Baker, Lonesome Lovesick Blues. Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit. Eartha Kitt, St. Louis Blues. And Nina Simone, Mississippi Goddamn. Mamie Smith. Blues was performed in the South since the beginning of the 20th century, but none were recorded due to racism and the assumption that African Americans couldn't or wouldn't buy record players or 78s. Mamie Smith's Crazy Blues in 1920 changed that, sparking a scramble among record executives to record blues divas. Smith's Crazy Blues sold 80,000 copies in 1 month, revolutionizing pop music. The song could be heard coming from open windows in any African American neighborhood in America. According to Danny Barker, a jazz musician from New Orleans, that record turned around the recording industry because every family had a phonograph in their house, specifically behind Mamie Smith's first recording of Crazy Blues. Gertrude Rainey. Minstrelsy produced Gertrude Rainey, who was born in Columbus, Georgia, where she lived from 1886 until 1939. From the age of 4, she traveled with her parents, singing and dancing with them in minstrel shows and vaudeville. Known as the mother of the blues, Rainey was a spokesperson for her people and a hero to them. She recorded hundreds of songs like Weepin' Women Blues, Broken Soul Blues, and Runaway Blues on Paramount Records, putting that record company on the map. The most popular blues singers established a rapport and rhetoric with the crowd, winning them over like erudite politicians. Rainey took Bessie Smith under her wing, and the blues tradition developed as one followed another. Bessie Smith. Following in Ma Rainey's footsteps, Bessie Smith became the voice of Blacks migrating to the North and West. In Black Chattanooga, Bessie Smith and the Emerging Urban South, written by Michelle R. Scott in 2008. It outlined Black life in 9th Street's saloons, the few veiled environments in which Blacks could be truly human. A humanity that was powerfully expressed in the blues music that Bessie Smith perfected as a stage performer and a recording artist. Poor man blues called on the rich man to open up his heart and mind and give the poor man who fought World War I a chance. Alberta Hunter. Alberta Hunter wrote blues lyrics that empower the singer toward feminist self-affirmation, agency, movement, and change. Hunter's rough childhood was filled with abandonment, abuse, molestation, and communal disdain, which gave her the self-determination to rise up and avoid trifling men, resulting in her feminist lifestyle. Downhearted Blues told anyone who wanted her company that they had to succumb to her will. This song put Hunter and Bessie Smith on the road to international fame in the 1920s. Throughout her 77-year career, Hunter understood the power that writing wielded for African Americans. But she took precautions because the act of writing connoted the connection between freedom and the decolonizing of identity, processes undertaken at tremendous risk because literacy was outlawed. And African Americans who wrote endangered their lives with the same strokes whereby they claimed ownership of their lives. For James Baldwin, the blues artist risked ruin, destruction, madness, and death to find new ways to make us listen, encouraging her listeners to leave the shoreline and strike out for the deep water. Having composed well into her 80s, Hunter participated in the blues philosophy that resisting master narratives inspires energies that undermine, bypass, subvert, and exceed patriarchal logic. Ethel Waters. Ethel Waters was a pioneering Broadway film, recording, and television star, and the first to do many things. The first African American to be billed above the title in a Broadway show. The first Black woman to have a radio show. The first to sing Am I Blue, Stormy Weather, Heat Wave, and the St. Louis Blues by W.C. Handy. Biographer Donald Bogle recounted the adulation, the money, the critical acclaim, and how Waters rendered a song to make one feel transported. She was moved to sing Little Black Boy at the funeral of a lynched black youth, deposited on the floor of the lobby of a theater where she was booked in Macon, Georgia. She plotted her escape very fast from the menacing theater manager and the police. Waters' dramatic performances on stage and screen included the Broadway musical As Thousands Cheer and the films Mama's Daughter, Cabin in the Sky, The Members of the Wedding, and Pinky, for which she was nominated for an Oscar. While touring vaudeville as Sweet Mama String Bean, Waters encountered continuous life-threatening experiences. I'm not concerned with civil rights. I'm concerned with God-given rights, and they are available to everyone. Josephine Baker. Baker's implicit artistic control spilled over into her radical activism around racism in Europe and the United States, where she toured in 1950. Baker demanded that she perform only for integrated audiences at every venue. If curfew and segregation ordinances were still in place, she requested that they be lifted for the duration of her performance in the hope that they would change permanently. Her persona as an agent of change for American Blacks was evidenced by 3 incidents. She championed Willie McGee, a man accused of and convicted of raping a white woman in Mississippi. She called attention to integrated housing in Cicero, Illinois. She promoted integrating hiring of bus drivers in Oakland, California. Baker spoke worldwide about the devastation of racism. On August 28, 1963, she was the only female to speak at the March on Washington. Her efforts resulted in the desegregation of nightclubs in northern cities. The reality of Baker's insistence on diversity was adoption of 12 children from varying nationalities and her insistence upon educating them within their respective cultures. Baker's activism attracted the attention of the FBI and the NAACP that named May 20th, which is today, Baker Day for Civil Rights Efforts. How about that? So we're honoring Josephine Baker on her day, May 20th. Billie Holiday. Billie first sang Strange Fruit, written by Abel Meeropol in 1939. That was the first significant song of the Civil Rights Movement and the first direct musical assault upon racial lynchings in the South. Holiday sang it at Cafe Society in New York, revolutionizing the struggle it personified. The song is a testament to the Civil Rights Movement and examines the lives of Holiday and Meeropol, the Jewish schoolteacher and communist sympathizer who wrote the song that impacted generations of fans, black and white. Holiday's rendition of Strange Fruit was poignant and raw and saturated with pain, evoking another time and place. And yet it is still utterly relevant to race relations in the United States today. Eartha Kitt. In June 1967, Kitt was appointed to the Citizens Advisory Board on Youth Opportunity by President Lyndon Johnson. The bastard child of a raped 14-year-old cotton field worker in South Carolina, Eartha Kitt was a student of choreographer Katherine Dunham and debuted in her first film, Casbah, in 1948 at 16. In 1960, she was blacklisted in the United States for speaking out at a woman doers luncheon hosted by Lady Bird Johnson. She explained that crime in the streets could be attributed to American youth rebelling because of the Vietnam War. Since 1953, Kitt taught dance to poor Black children. In 1966, she founded the Kittsville Youth Foundation, a nonprofit that served children in the depressed Watts area of Los Angeles. Youngsters in Anacostia, Washington, D.C., asked her to fundraise for Rebels with a Cause. She contacted Congressman Roman Puzinski, and they went before the House General Subcommittee of Education of the Committee of Education and Labor regarding the Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act of 1967 and won a grant for the group. In June 1967, Kitt was appointed to that civil advisory board on youth opportunity. But she was not cleared to be on the board due to the remarks she made at the Women Doers Luncheon in 1960. In January 1968, Kitt was cleared to attend another luncheon at the White House where a panel of speakers discussed crime in America and the Vietnam War. Ida Cox. In recent years, the song Wild Women Don't Get the Blues, penned by Ida Cox in 1924, became a feminist anthem because she wrote and sang openly about sexual freedom, a subject rarely broached by African American women of her time. This song was the theme song of uppity blues women that morphed into Sapphire, led by singer-songwriter Gay Adegbalola, who said the group's music was about empowerment, following in the tracks of those divas in the 1920s. Adegbalola and her group sang about sex, its joys, and its pain, and topical things like school teacher blues, Nothing's Changed, or 1-800-799-7233, the National Domestic Violence Hotline number. She said, the whole point of the blues is just to get the pain out. Nina Simone. Nina Simone located race relations in an international context in ways that drew attention to gender as well as race. She was one of the Black women who evoked international and American issues in discussions of race. Simone's fight for gender equity induced her to use her body, her music, and her words to forge links between Africa and African Americans, and disseminated ideas about Black freedom that were not specifically about the United States. In Go Limp, Simone played with an older tradition of African American female singers who sang about sex, like second wave feminists who would write about sex. Their protest and politics converged in Simone's music, and gender and sexuality informed her denunciation of racial discrimination. Simone said, "I started to think about myself as a Black person in a country run by white people and a woman in a world run by men." Miriam Makeba. Miriam was a staunch activist against South African apartheid to the point of exile. She joined Nina Simone's protests to American calls for Black power when she married Stokely Carmichael in 1968. Miriam Makeba and Stokely Carmichael were married, and he accompanied Dr. Martin Luther King on the March on Washington. Also, he changed his name to Kwame Ture. In conclusion, most blues lyrics referenced unrequited love. They provided a means of articulating pain, suffering, endurance, and overcoming. Blues women were permitted to sing in public forums. That reality announced to African women in America that they had something to say about their treatment at the hands of slave owners, traders, rapists, and punishing spouses, whether they were white men with whips or Black men who betrayed them. The blues are neither mournful nor the cries of victims, but articulate a hard-won affirmation of life and self. According to James Baldwin, the blues artist fills the air with life, with her own life, which she understands contains the lives of many other people. Blues singers are adept at shining light on the darkest scenarios of existence while bringing laughter to center stage as a form of relief for themselves and the entire audience, as well as the musicians. Blues women have instituted the primary healing of the human spirit with their musical dalliance that we should be delighted with and grateful for. Blues is a breath of fresh air in the stagnant world of discrimination, racism, physical and psychological abuse, and overall inhumanity towards children, women, men, and whole groups of people. Blues permeate the planet, wherein people from all nations and all walks of life enjoy the sound of the flatted third as the foundation of lyrics that can light up the face of even the most sardonic human being. These are some of the songs. So there's Crazy Blues by Mamie Smith. I Can't Sleep at Night. I can't eat a bite, 'cause the man I love, he don't treat me right. So this is Crazy Blues by Mamie Smith. Enjoy.
I can't sleep at night. I can't eat a bite. 'Cause the man I love, he don't treat me right.
This is Billie Holiday's version of Strange Fruit.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
Black Bottom by Gertrude Rainey.
For to see the dance you call the Black Bottom, I want to learn that dance. Oh, to see the dance you call your big Black Bottom, they put the end of dance. All the boys in the neighborhood, they say your Black Bottom is really good. Come on and show me your Black Bottom. I want to learn that dance.
These are the words, too. While women don't get the blues, don't have the blues, we don't get them either. I hear these women raving about their crazy men, about their trifling husbands and their no-good, dirty friends. Women sit around all day and moan, wondering why their wandering husbands won't come home. While women do not worry, while women do not have the blues. Listen to Go Limp by Nina Simone. Her mother warned her about going to these marches, but she tells her mother what she's got in store.
Oh, mama, dear mama, no, I'm not afraid. I'll go on that march and return a virgin maid. With a brick in my handbag and a scowl on my face, barbed wire in my underwear to shed off disgrace.
And this song, of all songs, speaks to racism in the South. Mississippi, Goddamn, by Nina Simone.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn.
This lecture is a result of years of research that I have done on women in jazz and women in blues. You would think that they're the same genre, but they're not. So enjoy. And the book is available at lulu.com, Blues Women, the First Civil Rights Workers, by Dr. Joan Cartwright. I'd like for you to enjoy the music of Dottie Kelly and Sabrena Rich, who will sing 2 of the songs from the book. Thank you.
Yes. That's a little blues for you. Sabrena, I'm going to bring you up to do your Stormy Weather, then I'll come up and do my song after you. I'm going to bring my lovely friend Sabrena Rich up to do Stormy Weather for you. This is a song out of the Women's of Blues magazine with Joan Cartwright. This is a beautiful song, so here you go.
All right, Dottie, that was awesome.
Thank you. Where's my
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this song called Stormy Weather. It was first released back in 1933. So happy to be here with you all today. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. Yeah. since my man and I ain't together. Yeah. Keeps raining all the time. Oh yeah, life is there. Gloom and misery everywhere. Stormy weather. I can't get myself together. No, no, no. It keeps raining, and it's raining all the time. Yeah. Since he went away, the blues don't tend to grieve me. If he stays away, old rocking chair's gonna meet me. All I do is pray, Lordy, that the Lord will let me walk in that sun once more. I can't go on, no. Everything I have is gone, baby. Stormy weather, yeah. I can't get my polo still together. Ooh, it keeps raining all the time. Yeah. Give me something right here, y'all. Walked in to get me, and if he stays away, old rocking chairs are gonna get me. Yeah. All I do is pray that the good Lord will let me. I wanna walk in the sunshine once more. I can't go on. Oh, everything I have is gone. Stormy weather, yeah. Can't get my pussy here together, baby. No. Keeps raining all the time, yeah, my baby. You know. Oh, it just keeps on raining, all the time. Yeah. Oh, it's raining, baby. It's raining. I tell you, it's raining everywhere. It keeps raining. It's raining. Yeah.
Give Sabrena another hand for that lovely song that she just did. All right. It's my time now, Sabrena. All our rehearsal is paying off right now, girlfriend. All right, I'm ready, guys. Go ahead, Hat. I hate to see even the sun go down. I hate to see evening sun go down. 'Cause my baby, he don't live this town. Feeling tomorrow like I feel today. Feeling tomorrow like I feel today. 'Cause my baby, he don't live in town. Here we go, guys. St. Louis woman, like a diamond ring, pull the man around by his apron string. A powder and a stove or hair. Call this man I love ain't going nowhere, nowhere. I got the St. Louis blue as I can be. This man got a heart like a rock cast in the sea. This man I love so far away from me. Come on, guys. Got the St. Louis blues. I 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 got the St. Louis blue as I can be. Damn, play just a little bit solo.
St. Louis blues.
blues.
We got the St. Louis blues.
St. Louis blues.
We got the St. Louis blues. Here we go. We got the St. Louis blues, blue as I can be. That was one of the songs out of the Women's of Blues magazine that Joan Cartwright had Sabrena and I to sing. I never done an Eartha Kitt song. That was my first time. I don't know how she did it, but I got through that one.